So today we're going to talk about estimating the percent of a number. Estimating, of course, is very handy when you want a quick answer. It might not be as precise or accurate as if you did it for real, but it's a very quick estimate or a close answer. So I do this a little bit differently than the book presents it. I ask you to learn some common fractions and their percent equivalent. Now, hopefully you've been working with these for a couple days, a couple weeks now. Hopefully you're kind of familiar with these. If not, you might want to get a note card and jot these down, pause the video and jot them down, or take a screenshot and save it so that you have access to it later on. All right, so let's look at this. 1/2 is 50%. That's a common one that I think most people know. 1/10 is 10%. Now I do 1/4 and 3/4 at the same time. 1/4, like a quarter in your hand, is 25%, 25 cents. And 3/4 or 3/4 would be 75% or 75 cents in your hand. Okay, so if you can remember those two real life situations with coins, I think you'll have a better time remembering the percents. And then 1/3 and 2/3, of course, are related. 1/3 is 33%. It's actually a repeater, but 33% will work for what we're doing in this lesson. Now, you know, if 1/3 is 33%, double this to get 2/3, we'll double the 33 to get 66. Okay, if you can remember these six or have them handy, this lesson will be much easier. Okay, now remember I started off saying that estimation is supposed to be quick. It's supposed to be mental math, and it's supposed to be close to the real answer, but it's not exact. So we're going to pick numbers that work nicely together, that are easy to calculate. So I'm going to start with 47%. I know that these numbers are all going to be easy to do. 47% is close enough to 50% that I feel comfortable rounding it to 50. Of course, means times. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. Let's pick a number that's close to 692, but that will be easy to work with, easy to cut in half. All right, I'm going to go for 700. It's not that far away. It ends in zeros, which makes it great to cut in half. Now, I know that 50% is 1/2, which is why I keep saying this, so I'm going to take half of 700. You could do it over on the side. You might, half, of course, is divided by 2. You might know that half of 7 is 3.5. So we can add some zeros on. We get 350. I just want to show you real quick. That's where I got the 350 from. So if I had to estimate 47% of 692, I'm going to say that my answer is somewhere around 350. If you put the equal sign but squiggle lines instead of straight lines, that means approximately. It's a fun little symbol. Okay, let's go to our next one. This is one that if you were to look in the book, they would do very, very differently. I'm going to encourage you to round this 60% to one of our fractions that I used up top, one of our benchmark fractions. The book actually switches this to a fraction, and I actually think that's more work than it's worth. We're going to get the same answer. We're going to get answers that are incredibly similar, but I think my way is just a little bit easier for where we're at in our knowledge right now. Okay, so I'm going to round this 60% to 50%. It's a little further than I would like, but it's closer to 50 than it is to 66 or 75. So I think we're going to go with the 50. Plus, it's really easy. Okay, if we start doing this 33, 66% stuff, that gets a little crazy. 50%, easy cheesy. Now, 27, I'm going to round to 30. I could go to 28, but I love things that end in 0. Okay, so this is like saying, what's half of 30? And I know you just looked and you're like, I don't think about the clock. You know what 30 minutes is. What's halfway to 30? 15. So I think that 60% of 27 is about 15. It's not exactly, but it's pretty close. And that was some quick math. Okay. All right, now let's look at this one. Estimate 10% of 715. I'm going to leave the 10% at 10%. But I'm going to make this 715 into 700. Again, I love things that end with zeros. And it's not that far away. 700, 715, it's close enough. Instead of doing 10%, I am going to use the fraction form of 1/10. Actually, I'm going to write this down a little bit further. And I'm going to use my equivalent fraction knowledge to figure out my answer here. Okay, I know that 10% means 1 out of 10. If 10% of the kids in my grade wore a red shirt to school, that means 1 out of every group of 10, mathematically speaking. So what if we looked at the entire grade of the entire school of 700 instead of just a group of 10 kids? Well, how can I get from 10 to 700? I can multiply by 70. If I do that to the bottom, I have to do that to the top. 1 times 70 is 70. So I say that 10% of 715 is approximately 70. It's not exact, but it's really close. And that was some really fast math. Okay, I have one more example for you. This one will blow your mind until you realize what I'm doing, and then you're like, that's amazing. I'm not going to round 17%. I'm going to leave it exactly at 17. But I am going to round this 198 to 200. Now let's think about the fraction. 17% is really 17 for every 100. And again, I'm going to write this on the bottom. If I have 17 out of every 100, and I do that twice, that means I have 34 out of 200. So my answer is about 34. Sometimes it makes sense to round both. Up here, it made sense to round and estimate both numbers. Sometimes it makes sense to round only one of them because the other one will work with what we have. These take practice. I'm incredibly lenient in how I mark these, and I give you lots of feedback. Try to get a number as close to it as you can, but that has some zeros on the end. That's my biggest advice. Okay, these just take practice and experience. And if you can learn these 6, it will make life a whole lot easier.